Johnathan, old chap. How are you tonight? I've seen little of you of late.
I was conducting research in my room, away from the nightly routines.
Of course, of course. Worry not, I understand. The situation has been testy around here. I won't deny it, but we still stand.
Have you any reliable friends in the West End who might assist me?
Unfortunately, you will be alone. Except for our ravishing red-headed acquaintance, of course.
What of my commission here at Pembroke Hospital?
Nothing to fear, Johnathan. Your position here is in no jeopardy. You remain one of us, and you are always most welcome.
What about the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole? Where are they?
There are only a few of us, and most others would not speak to you. I am the black sheep of our brotherly flock, you know.
What news do you bring?
The news is not good, my friend. We try to keep the epidemic at bay, but street violence is escalating quickly.
How bad is the epidemic?
It is killing the infected patients faster. In less than 2 days now. The only blessing is that they are contagious for a shorter period.
Tell me more about the violence.
Geoffrey McCallum seems to have sent his war dogs on a hunt. On a nightly basis, Prewen patrols exterminate every skull and vampire they find.
Have they come closer to the hospital?
No. They mainly focus on fallen districts or abandoned buildings. But they're growing in numbers. They must be recruiting heavily.
I have received an alarming letter from Lady Ashbury. She wants me to meet her at her house. I have been granted safe passage.
Then you are twice fortunate. I have never been invited to the lady's mansion. And with the quarantine and controls, city access is nigh impossible.
Why have you never entered the lady's house? You are one of her good friends, are you not?
My dear Johnathan, you have no idea how reclusive the good lady normally is, nor in what great esteem she must hold you to let you into her domain.
Is the quarantine serving any purpose?
It is helping slow the propagation of the epidemic. But as long as we have no clue to its origin, its efficiency is limited.
Thank you, Edgar. We shall speak again later. Good evening, Milton.
If you're here for the merchandise, you're out of luck. I've stopped selling. Far as I'm concerned, you can all go to hell and die in this shithole.
Why are you being so aggressive, Milton?
I attended Pippa's funeral this afternoon. I was the only one from the hospital.
Will you keep extorting money from hospital patients now that your accomplice is dead?
No, Dr. Reid. Now I know I did it for her. She thought for so long about fleeing the city. Even the country, maybe.
What are you going to do then?
No idea. To be honest, I don't even know why I still work here. I sure as hell don't plan on staying in this city forever.
How was the funeral?
The priest had forgotten Pippa's family name. He just mumbled some generic religious bullshit. It was so pitiful I almost laughed.
How was the funeral?
The priest had forgotten Pippa's family name. He just mumbled some generic religious bullshit. It was so pitiful I almost laughed.
Who paid for the ceremony? I imagine it's expensive these days, especially with the quarantine.
The Lord may work in mysterious ways. That priest was easy to bribe. Bloody crook.
You're not a religious man, then?
No, but Pippa was. She was tough and sad, but she never lost faith. I'm glad our money granted her the proper ceremony she deserved.
Will you keep extorting money from hospital patients now that your accomplice is dead?
No, Dr. Reid. Now I know I did it for her. She thought for so long about fleeing the city. Even the country, maybe.
What are you going to do then?
No idea. To be honest, I don't even know why I still work here. I sure as hell don't plan on staying in this city forever.
Where would you go?
Somewhere sunny. Place with many flowers. That's where Pippa wanted to go. Far from the city stench, she used to say.
It sounds nice, but that was her idea. What about yours?
I don't know. I've never left London. I don't know what's out there.
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick often. And thanks, anyway.
Will you keep...
No, Doc.
What are you going to...
No idea. To be honest, I don't even know why I still work here. I sure as hell don't plan on staying in this city forever.
You are still of use to this hospital, Milton. You're the ambulance driver. Patients are counting on you.
Something tells me I'll end up dead like all those other poor bastards if I stay around. But I don't have the will to leave. Bloody monster. Did you kill my Pippa too? I should have known.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you doing?
Not well. It...
Mr. Ali... Good...
Not well.
Mr.
It's been...
Ali... Good evening, Nurse Brannigan. How are you tonight?
Haven't you heard? Dr. Tippett is dead.
Yes, I know about Corcoran's death. I'm sure Dr. Swansea will provide a solution.
Dr. Swansea has asked me to replace him. Dr. Tippett, I mean. Since he considers I was already doing his job. Dr. Tippett's job. But without the official title, of course. Sorry. All of this is so sudden.
Do you require medical assistance?
I will be fine. As soon as I can get some sleep.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this, and do try to get some rest.
I'll try, Dr. Reid. Thank you.
Goodbye, nurse.
Time has lost its effect on me, but the suffering continues. I wish I could be sick again. Feel my blood boil with the fever.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you doing?
Not well. Eternity can be such a burden. Did you know that Thomas is dead?
Mr. Elwood? Yes, I know about his death.
His blood now runs through this decaying body. I see things much more clearly now. I've even started to sense things about you.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
No. You are deluded. You think you crave blood, but you have no physical need for it. You have no idea what that is like.
But what am I feeling? It cannot only be in my head. I know my flesh is rotting. I feel it. It disgusts me.
And what exactly have you learned about me?
You're cold, Doctor. As cold as those steel blades you surgeons wield so nimbly. Sometimes, I wonder if you have any feelings at all.
That's quite a statement, Miss Howcroft.
But there is more, isn't there? Your interest for my condition. Your subtle innuendos. Are we the same, Doctor?
No. I'm worse than you, Thelma. We both pretend to be something we're not. But my deceptions are far more malignant.
For once I sense real honesty in your voice, Dr. Reid. Somehow that frightens me.
Do you think about Thomas's death sometimes?
Every night. I didn't want to kill him. I liked him. Now people will hunt me down.
You're safe as long as you stay in the hospital. No one will hunt you here, I promise.
These walls will not protect me, Doctor. They will never forget the crime I've done. And nor will I.
You are a patient here, Miss Howcroft. Someone with real needs who deserves peace and treatment. I will protect you.
Don't be ridiculous, Doctor. How could a mortal carry all the pain of the world on his shoulders? I should be far more cautious.
You're no murderer, trust me. Only a fool would believe otherwise.
How long before other mortals start hunting me? As always, blood is the only price for blood.
Judging by the look in your eyes, there is something you want to ask me, Miss Howcroft.
Listen to my voice, Johnathan. You can't refuse to answer my questions. Speak now. Tell me about you and that fancy red-headed lady.
You mean Lady Ashbury? What about her?
Don't resist me. Answer now, Doctor. What's really going on between you two?
There is nothing going on at all. In fact, I barely know the woman.
Now, Johnathan. I want you to forget we had this little conversation. You can get back to what you were doing. Beware, child of the night, for I shall come back and have my vengeance.
It's locked. It's locked.
You must prepare, child, for the earth is bleeding and the harvest is upon us.
Stay away! Whoever you are!
This is no time for petty quarrels, my champion. Can you not hear? The famished queen has awoken.
I am not your champion!
But of course you are, son. As surely as you are the blood of my blood.
I had to kill Mary!
I have known your pain, child. Do not succumb to...
Silence! I dismiss you, now!
The land calls for a champion. All and everyone needs you.
Silence! I'm tired of all these puppet shows.
They want war. I'll show them war!
Whatever this poor woman did, nobody deserves this kind of punishment.
All of your bloody leeches need killing! Want some of this?
It's on to us!
Here's all you deserve. I'll send you to hell. Die, beast!
Christ, he's dead! Murdering bastard! Daddy wants you. Got one of them.
We have to stop it! We have to stop it! You'll pay for that! Take a breath of this! Find his teeth! He's dead! Eat this!
Without the wet boots keeping things straight, these parts would be running completely amok.
Good evening. What? Good.
Evening, Doctor.
Do you require...
Don't feel...
Take this.
Tom.
Good. Good evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr. Reid.
You see-
I live with Mrs.
Do you need
A real...
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say.
So long, Rufus.
Is this really over?
Good evening, Mrs. Fishburne. May I come in, please?
The icy cold.
Please don't stay too long, sir.
Good evening.
Doc,
Mrs.
I...
Good...
I'm not sure.
Favourite meal?
Well,
Good evening, Mr. Wood.
good evening to you.
Do you need...
Well,
Good...
Andrew, what have you done? You should have talked to me.
Sir, no civilians allowed.
Glad to see you.
Do you...
I...
It... Good.
Glad to see you.
Do you need...
I can...
Of course you can, Miss Paxton. But I wouldn't recommend it. Please, take this. You will feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reid. Thank you.
Goodbye, Miss...
Boots shouldn't be fighting each other. They've got bigger problems elsewhere.
Good evening, sir. I'm glad to see you safe.
I am not safe. I should never have come back here. My life is in danger. I know it.
You're much safer here than in that contaminated area.
Bullets kill people quicker than diseases and epidemics, Dr. Reid.
Do you need help?
Death by disease.
I will... Do you have recent...
He has been killed, you know.
Are you worried about the...
Not really. We've spent so many days hiding to escape retaliation from the wet boot boy.
What can you tell me about the locals?
Most people would say that Sean Hampton and Tom Watts are good men who try to sort things out. But for me, the real boss around there was my best friend, Jack Gillingham.
Jack Gillingham, you say?
Everyone round here knew Jack. He was a rock. A mountain, even. He feared nothing.
Your friend Jack has something to do with you fleeing to the contaminated area where I found you. I want to know more.
Jack is dead. That's all you need to know. Dead because of me. So much violence. So much sorrow. All of that because I refused to be insulted again.
The docks are being consumed by violence. Any war you may have started was already brewing underneath the surface, just waiting for a spark to ignite it.
Perhaps you're right. The district was doomed before I was born. But I cannot stop myself thinking that Jack died for me.
Why do you say that?
After I killed that gang member, the wet boot boy suspected Jack. And being loyal and all, he did not refute the accusation.
The death of your friend has affected you deeply, hasn't it?
Jack Gillingham was the real deal. He believed we could change the world if we were united and focused enough. And he brought out the best in each of us.
You're right. He died to save you. That alone gives me an idea of the kind of man he was.
He was the bravest. And no one dares to say openly that he got killed by those bastards.
What can you tell me about...
The East End Docks only knows one rule. Dog eat dog, and blood calls for blood. The gang will have their revenge on me one way or another.
The death of your...
Jack Gillingham.
Your friend's plan was audacious, if not reckless. No one stands up by themselves to a gang like the Wet Boot Boys.
How dare you say that? You never met him.
Do you need help?
Death.
Well,
you have...
Do you need help?
I'm fine, Doctor.
Goodbye. Good evening, young man.
There's no need to call me that, Dr. Reid.
Young man, do you...
I don't like asking for help.
There's no shame in asking for help, especially when you are in desperate need of it.
Thank you.
Goodbye.